YouTube. Nvidia falls under $100 once again. Now, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please hit that like button, guys, so we can continue to grow. I would appreciate it. Now, Nvidia has been on a roller coaster this week so far. So if we look at the 5 day chart, you can see we've been up and down, up and down. And let's talk about exactly what's going on before we do a deeper assessment in the charts. And we'll also talk about, is it a good time to buy or not? Okay. Now let's talk about it. So, semiconductor and chip stocks are experiencing declines potentially influenced by the performance of supermicrocomputer (SMCI). So, a lot of people don't know about what's going on with them, but if you're heavily into the chip space, you may or may not know. So, supermicrocomputer reported mixed earnings performance for the fourth quarter while revenues were in line with estimates of $2.18 billion. Gross margins fell short of expectations due to a challenging customer mix and ramp costs related to liquid cooling. Now, the company reported an earnings per share of $1.52, which missed the analyst consensus estimate of $1.60. Now, in conjunction with this, getting back to NVIDIA specifically, NVIDIA has successfully tested and approved Samsung Electronics' fifth generation high bandwidth memory HBM chips known as HBM3E for use in its artificial intelligence AI processors. So, for those of you that don't know, NVIDIA has some issues with some of the newer AI chips. And so, from that perspective, they are looking for alternate ways to continue business going, and so that they won't have any issues with what they promise, such clients like, Microsoft, and, some of the other business partners that they have, just to name one. Now, this approval is a significant step forward the collaboration between NVIDIA and Samsung, with expectations that a supply agreement for the HBM3E chips will be finalized soon. Shipments are anticipated to begin by the fourth quarter of 2024. Okay. Now, we talked about this kind of the other day. If they have some sort of way of getting things back up to speed before 2025, this is going to help the stock explode before this year is out. Okay. Now, the HBM3 chips are crucial for processing vast amounts of data in complex AI applications, which positions them as an essential component for graphics processing units in the AI sector. Now, Samsung expects that HBM3E chips will account for 60% of its HBM chip sales by the fourth quarter of this year. Okay, so um, this is a little bit what's going on, but I think overall for today, I think a lot of the chip stocks took a beating because of SMCI, and I would suspect that by Friday, we will be at least recovered back near where we are now, unless the overall markets want to sell off. So, essentially, in a nutshell, we're at a time now in a lot of cases where if one chip stock has some bad news, or numbers don't come in as expected, then that can have an impact on the overall chip market. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we have not had good news in the chip sector except for AMD. So you've seen a lot of investors do their due diligence and start to move into AMD. But as it pertains to specifically NVIDIA, let's talk about it. Now, NVIDIA right now is sitting at $98.48 in the aftermarket. And so this brings us down over the last month down 22.42%. We're still up over 100% year to date, but over the last week, we've had a pullback of 12%. Now, at the end of the day, we know the all-time high is near, maybe $141. I think is the peak that is hit this year. And so when we look at the percentage that is off, that's on sale, guys. Now, yes, we could potentially fall further, but for me, I've been picking up Nvidia and the different brokerages that I have. I've got a brokerage that I've kind of turned into more of a, uh, I would say, account where I have mostly ETFs that are 2 and 3x. Okay. So it's a little bit more risky for these leverage ETFs, but I'm only doing small amounts at a time. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to get in Nvidia and maybe simply start the dollar cost average. Now, like I said, who knows what can happen from here, but I think this is a good opportunity to get in, especially if you're going to be long term like me. Now, overall, I would say I would expect that Nvidia would attempt to get back over $100 before this week is out. And, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that there's just too much turmoil in the chip sector right now? Do you think there's just too much turmoil as it pertains to semiconductors in general? Now, we know that overall, a lot of these companies have a lot of work to do. There's a high demand for AI, and obviously that's going to come with chips. And so, like I always say, we're in the times now where investors want to know, is this thing going to be profitable? How much money are companies going to make off AI? And just because the technology is good, does that mean that, this phenomenon is going to be profitable at the end of the day? Okay. So the times of, forward guidance being good is it's hit or miss, when it comes to the chip sector. But we want to know what the actual value is going to be. We want to know the actual numbers that are going to come in from this, and we want to know soon. Okay, that's overall from investors. All right. Now, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button so we can continue to grow, fight the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we're out, guys. Peace.